everybody. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today is March 10th, 2025. It's been a couple months since I last recorded. There's been a lot going on, and today is the day that I can record. So I have lots to show you. I have a lot of quilting stuff. I have a lot of cast-ons, crochet, chain-ons, whatever. Got lots going on. So I just want to say I appreciate you being here and sticking with me, even though my videos tend to be a little more sporadic than I would like them to be, and it's just the way it is. I was even thinking, I was watching Leslie of Not Quite Enough Yarn podcast, and she records throughout the month, and Aquila of Lefty Knitter podcast, she records throughout a week and does clips as she makes things or does things. I may have to try and adopt that format. I don't know. I might try, just because to sit down and do like one recap of everything is it's becoming challenging, and so I might try that in the future. I will see. So it may look a little different, but I'm here today, and that's what's important. I hope you are all doing well and keeping your head above water, so to speak. It's been a challenge, working real hard to just stay positive and to try and look for the bright spots in life. So hopefully this can be a little bit of a bright spot in your day. So as I said, I've got some quilting stuff. The last time I recorded, I told you I was going to be going to QuiltCon, and I went. And it was a lot of fun. There was 10 of us that shared a house. It was in Phoenix, Arizona. It happens every year, and it switches coasts every other year. So it was on the West Coast-ish side in Phoenix, and so I went. We had a lot of fun. I did some volunteering, which was fun. I saw the show, went to the vendors. I did not purchase a whole bunch. I didn't go with the idea that I was going to purchase a bunch. I just wanted to go and be inspired. There was a lot of really beautiful and unique and creative quilts, and it was just fun. We had a lot of fun. A lot of fun with just hanging out after the show at the house, and it was grand. It was really a good time. One of the things I shared before is that we decided as a household to do like a white elephant make along sort of thing. Instead of making something or bringing something for everybody in the house, we would make one thing, put it in a pile, everything got a number, you selected a number, and then based on the number you selected was things in the middle didn't have, our objects didn't have a number. We just got a number to say what order we got to pick in. And so that was a lot of fun. You could steal, which was unfortunate because my first pick, I got a quilt that my friend Rob made. That was really awesome that he made a quilt. And I knew as soon as I opened it, I was not going to be keeping it. And sure enough, it got stolen a couple times, and our friend Tracy got to take it home. But I wanted to share with you what I got. The gift or the object or whatever that I picked was from my friend Brendan. And he had embroidered a bunch of, that's backwards, upside down, a bunch of these tea towels. And he did a really great job on them. They have some really fun sayings on them, and I will plan on using these in the kitchen. I haven't yet done it because I knew I was going to show you guys. So they're all different. Each corner has something different embroidered on it, and so that's what I got to take home. He's a good embroiderer. And so that was fun. And then I did record before I left the piece that I made. So finished my piece, and I recorded a video to kind of tell you about it and show it before I left for my trip. So let me put it in here. Okay, are you ready for the big reveal? So as I have explained before, I'm going to QuiltCon, and the people that I'm sharing the house with, we decided to do a Quilty White Elephant exchange. And so I wanted to share what I made before I go, because once I come back, I won't have it anymore. So I perused my quilting inspiration books, pattern books, different things that I had, and I came across my very old Quilter's World magazine that I've saved since 2006. So this is the October 2006 issue. Thumbed through it, like, what's in this? And I found exactly what I wanted to do. So what I found, and all my little pieces just came out, so I can't find it. Okay, so what I found was this pattern. It is called a Fall Wind, and it's like a table runner size, kind of using very loose piecing guidelines. Things aren't really straight. Give an approximate measurement to things. Encourage you to not use your ruler, cut things a little off, and that kind of stuff. And I thought, okay, let me give this a try. I can work within those parameters pretty well, and it's not as abstract as just like improv piecing, which is sort of just like throw shit to the wall and see what sticks. So anyway, I decided to give it a try. I dug out my tub of hand-dyed fabrics that I have. Most of them are dyed by me. I did purchase some, so there was some in there that were purchased, and some that are just commercial fabrics. I had some ombres in there that were like save for later. They're so special. So anyway, without further ado, this is what I made. So this here is a commercial print. The rest of them are hand-dyed. There might be maybe a batik, and I don't think there is. I think it's all hand-dyed. So I followed the general guidelines and made these curved half leaves that you sew together, giving it a little stem. I pulled out fallish kind of colors, so oranges, reds, greens, that kind of thing. Did curved, like everything's curved. The edge is not straight. The top is not straight. It's like none of it has a very straight line. Even the center seam where I sewed these two panels together aren't straight, and I love it. Here's some ice dyed fabric that I did. Yeah, so this is the commercial. So this was part of an ombre, and it was the right color, and so I cut the section that was this darker color. So I did quilt it on my long arm, but I just did gentle kind of wavy lines. I did use a variegated thread that had all these colors in it, and I am really happy with the way it turned out. I hesitated to whether I should put a way to hang it, but I thought that was pretty presumptuous of me to think that whoever gets it's going to want to hang it in their house. So I figure, you know what, they're all quilters and sewers. If they want to hang it, they can put a hanging something on it. Otherwise, it could be just a table runner. So I had this gold, what's a Moda marble. I don't even know if Moda makes marbles anymore, but it's just a tonal that I did on the back. I did do a faced binding, which means you don't see the binding on the front. You sew the binding and turn the entire thing to the back, and then I hand sewed it to the back. So that is my white elephant exchange gift. And I kind of want to keep it, but then I figure that's a good thing. If I want to keep it, that means I feel good about giving it away as well. If it was like, meh, it's like, okay, I don't really like it, I wouldn't feel comfortable giving it away. So hopefully whoever gets this will love it as much as I did. It was fun to work on. It was challenging because this is a pretty deep curve, and I got through it. And the fact that it didn't have to turn out to be a certain size worked out good too. So yeah, so that's that. It also goes along with the 2025 Make It From a Book make along that's happening, because I did make it from a publication.
It's very old, but it worked still even today. So here it is, 19 years later, and it's still a good pattern. So I don't know if I'd make another one. I thought when I was making it, like, I need to make one for myself, but I don't know that I will. Maybe someday, who knows? I'll keep the magazine because you never know. So there you go. That's my piece.
So as you can see, that was pretty fun. And I really enjoyed making it. It challenged me just a little bit, and it was fun to pull from my hand-dyed fabrics that got picked and then stolen, and so our friend Jen took that home. So yeah, that was really fun. It was a fun way to make something, and there was some really fun and unique things that were made and exchanged, and it was really a good time. I did purchase one thing besides like food and coffee. My friends have been to a QuiltCon in the past. Brendan's been several times, and this was my first time. But one of the things that they got last year were these pieces from Kismet, and it is fabric that you get that they've gotten curated, and it's all fair trade made. They're made from saris, I think. And so I bought what they call a charm pack. So a charm pack in quilting is 5-inch squares. And what it is it's layered sari fabric. So the back is different. Like this has got pieces together. It is hand stitched together. This one has 4 layers. So this one's a little bit thicker. But normally they've just got like 2 to 3 layers, and they're all a little bit different. And so I got 2 different packs. I got kind of what I would consider a warm pack. And then I got a cooler pack. And so they're all, each square is a little bit different. This has even got like a textured fabric. And my thought was to maybe, I'm going to play around with it, but maybe sew them together. You end up with a 2-sided thing. So somehow figure out a way to stitch them together and just make a table topper kind of thing. There's not enough here. I've got 25-inch squares or 24 5-inch squares. There's not a lot I can do with it. So I don't really want to cut them up. I kind of just want to leave them as a square. But I thought it was interesting. Like this is even hand stitched, this blue onto this pink. So I'm not going to pull them apart, although I'm tempted, but I'm not going to, because I'd have to take out all that stitching, and that's just not going to happen. So I thought that was really fun, and it's a good business, a good cause, so I felt good about making that purchase. Let me put that in there. Okay. Let me put this over here. I've got so much stuff. There's so much stuff. And then, I walked around the quilts. We were there for several days, and I just kind of took my time to go through things between doing a little bit of volunteering, which was fun, and then, doing the show. It was good. I don't know if I'll go next year. Probably not, because it's going to be in North Carolina, and that's a pretty big trip. One of the things you can do is you get a swag bag, and so my good buddy Chip grabbed me a swag bag, and in it were a lot of different little things. So Booth's put in something. It could be a pattern, could be some fabric. I got a couple of sets of little 2.5-inch squares and a little charm, or there's a lot of different things. There's a couple things in my swag bag that I know that I will not use, but it's nice. Like it's something I want to pass on. So I'm going to do a giveaway with one of the things that I did get in my swag bag. It is this pattern. Now it is English paper piecing, and English paper piecing is usually hexagons that you cut out, turn the edges over, and hand stitch the hexagons together. I will never do this. I know for a fact. So this is a pattern. It's got like cardstock templates for making this. I also in my swag bag got from Pink Door this acrylic template. Makes the hexagons a little bit smaller than what this is, but I figure whoever likes to do this would probably like this. So this is going to go together. And I would love it if you made a comment if you would like me to send this to you. I need to keep this in the United States just because of postage. Our postage system right now, our postal system is not in the greatest shape right now. Nothing in our country is, honestly. So I've got to keep it to the United States to just make sure that it gets where it needs to go and I don't have to pay a crap ton in postage. So if you could leave a comment that you like the English paper piecing pattern, I'm going to look for the keyword English paper piecing when I do a random like comment picker. So this, you will get this, and I might throw in a couple of the other things that I got in my little grab bag. But it's not that I don't like this pattern. I think it's cute. I just know I will never do it. I've got too many other crafts and stuff going on that I certainly don't need it. There was another, my friend Brendan that I ended up getting his white elephant thing made us each a lanyard. He made a bunch of lanyards for us, and so we got to pick, and I picked this one. And so I got a couple of fun pins. This one opens up. It's like a paint palette inside. Oop, Fiber Hustle. Little Normie, he keeps spinning. So that was fun. That was really cool that he made that. And so we all had our custom little lanyards for our ID. Something else that was in the swag bag was these charm packs. But I'm going to keep these because I know I can use them. So we got that. And then this is another charm pack kind of thing. So I figure I can use that for something. I got American Patchwork and Quilting, and in it is a quilt designed by my friend Jenny. So Lamb Farm Designs, I've talked about her before. I've quilted some quilts for her in the past. I just finished quilting a Christmas wreath pattern that she's got that's going to be a block of the month called Make It Merry. You may have seen that on Instagram. That will be put on by different quilt shops and Fat Quarter Shop, but I think Fat Quarter Shop sold out of what they had, so you can maybe look for that. I don't remember if I took pictures of it. I think I did. If I did, I'll put them somewhere. So anyway, that was really cool. She was there vending, and so I got to sit and visit with her sometimes too, which was nice. And I'm like, we live like 5 miles apart, and I have to be in Phoenix to sit and visit with you. But sometimes that's what happens, you know. It's hard to make time to just do that. I have been working on a quilt. I talked about the Knitted Blooms quilt by Lo and Behold Stitchery, and so I've got 2 of the blocks finished. That will be summer. I did switch my colors around. I kind of went through what my color scheme was going to be. And I'm going to make 4 separate quilts that will represent the 4 different seasons. I knew that I wasn't going to be able to get spring done for spring, so I started with summer. And I'm using the light yellow as a background and then some bright summery colors for the flowers. And so I'm in the middle of making my 3rd one. I haven't had a chance to sit down and sew. It seems like the only time I get a chance to sit down and sew is on Saturdays when we do our Zoom sew group, which is who I went to Phoenix with. So that's okay. It'll get done. I need to get it done by summer because we are now approaching spring. We just had daylight savings time this past weekend. Spring's official, like in a couple more weeks. And that one there, that was something, I was talking to Chip about that one. That was something that I bought the kit to do that one. Jim and I had gone to Alaska. It was for our 25th wedding anniversary, and we are now married 41 years, so do the math. But I got that far with it, and then I never quilted it. It's just been hanging in a closet. And so I took it out. I'm like, instead of putting it away, I think I'm going to leave it out to decide how I'm going to do it, what I'm going to do. So I might show that again in the future. But quilting wise, that's what I've got going on. I helped my friend Jenny at a quilt show the weekend after Phoenix. And, you know, it's just been kind of one thing after another. But that's good. It's all good. To keep busy and be with friends is really a blessing. So I don't take that for granted. So was that all I was going to do giveaway wise? I think so. No. Oh, I have these couple of charm packs that I got in my swag bag. So it's Iconic Chips by Anna Maria Textiles. And I opened it because I wanted to see what it was. It's not something that I will use, but I thought if somebody wants these, I've got 2 packs. There's 15 pieces each. So I mean, you're going to have 2 of each color, but there'll be 30 squares, and maybe somebody can do something with that. So if you like that, use the word charm pack, because that's what these are. So charm pack, English paper piecing, 2 different giveaways. I'll do a random name picker from that, and we'll go from there. And let's go into now, because I think that's all I have about quilting and QuiltCon. I have been knitting, and I was doing really well of not necessarily casting anything on new, and then that only lasted a really short time. I casted a bunch of stuff on. So one thing I needed to do was cast on something small, something that was easy for me to work on the plane, while traveling, while visiting, all that kind of stuff. I had talked about doing a knitted blanket, changed my mind on that, and I'll show you what direction I went in with that in a minute. But I did cast on a project to take to QuiltCon. So you're going to see a theme, and this was a theme that started in January when I last recorded, where I was ripping things out and re-knitting with it. So this is yarn this is Fiber Hustle yarn in the colorway Journey, based on the album of Journey. And I was making a shawl, 2-colored kind of shawl thing. And I got to a point where I got stuck, and I think there was maybe something lost in translation. Anybody that made it or put it on their project page wrote comments in a different language. The original pattern originated in another language, and I think something got lost in translation. I just got really stuck. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this, so I ripped it out. And now I'm making something that I know what to do. And I decided to start a key cowl. I have made this 3 times. I have 2 of them. I made one for a friend, and I'm making the Journey out of this. I love this colorway, as I love most of what Erin dyes. But I thought it needs to be its own thing. So it's basic stockinette. You do a little bit of shaping, a little bit of edge stitching, but really it's a very easy cowl to make and a very easy cowl to wear. So that was important. Like, I make a lot of things that I don't wear, and I know that I do wear my cowls that are this style, kind of a bandana style. So that was my project for in the airport, on the plane, sitting around after the show, and that worked out great. I made a new sack for my yarn out of some batiks that I had, and that was really fun. I thought about doing maybe a tutorial on how to make those. Those are super easy to make. Maybe I'll do that. Put that on the back burner. Another thing I ripped out, and I did post this on Instagram, is I had made a sweater, and I think I wore it once when I podcasted. The sun's coming out. It's getting very bright. And I really never wore it after that. I just didn't feel like it fit right. The sleeves never felt like they were right, and I re-knit those a couple times, and I thought, I'm never going to wear this, but I could possibly wear something else knit out of the yarn. So I ripped it out. So this is kind of an eggplant color. It is a worsted weight. I dyed this for that sweater. So I ripped the whole sweater out. I'm going to skein what I got. It's in a lot of different balls, and I'm going to skein them up and wash them so that it relaxes them so I can get a true gauge of something. So I have about 546 grams, and I haven't looked to see if I have leftovers of this because that's an odd number, and I probably started with 600 grams, but only needed 5.5. So I'm figuring I have about 1,190 yards, unless I find more in my stash to make something. Now it's worsted weight, so I'm thinking maybe another vest type of thing, because I don't know that I will wear a worsted weight sweater. I think I would wear a worsted weight cardigan, but I don't have enough of this, I don't think, to make that. So sat and ripped that out, which was kind of a pain. I mean, that is one of the drawbacks. I mean, okay, so on the plus side, I've got yarn that I can reuse that I've already, like, I don't have to pay for it, right? I have it. The bummer is, like, I alternated skeins and did all that. So as you're winding one, then you come across your other skein, and that you're winding in a ball, and this you're winding on the winder, and then you wind in a ball, back and forth. And it was a project to unwind it. But I did it. I've got yarn now, so I am kind of on the lookout. I may even try and do something on my knitting machine, just because that's fun to knit on that. I am kind of searching for patterns. I know Knit It Now is a website that I have subscribed to in the past when I first got my machine, and it has pattern generators on it. So you put in your gauge for this garment, the whatever, and then it'll give you kind of the recipe for it. Cast on this many stitches, you're going to do this many rows. You know, you have to have some basic knowledge on how to work your machine, which I do. So I'm looking to do that with this, and probably just, like I said, just do a vest, because I don't think I have the yardage. So in the same vein with machine knitting, back, what was it, Black Friday, I purchased this cone. It's a Holst Garn Super Soft. This is the colorway like elderberry. Yeah, elderberry. Memory. That's amazing. So I bought this because it was like 25 bucks. It's got 3,000 and some yards on it. Oh, it doesn't say on here, but it's got like over 3,000 yards, and I'm like, I made a sweater out of this brand, not this color, and I did it for Rhinebeck when I went there a couple of years ago, and I made it out of orange, thinking I'm going to do something different. So, you know, everybody's always thinking that all I like is purple. Of course, I'm wearing purple today. I'm like, I don't always do purple. I do it a lot. It is my favorite color, but I don't always do purple. And so I thought, oh, let me do this orange. It's a beautiful orange. And, oh, in fact, I did my swatch. I should get that. So it's a beautiful orange, but I never wear it because I don't wear orange. I don't know that it's a great color on me. I have nothing that goes with it. And so I made a sweater that I don't wear because I chose a color that I don't wear. So I made my Rhinebeck sweater out of this orange. I used it to do a swatch, but this is the color that I had. It's gorgeous. I think it's called burnt orange or umber. I don't know what it's called, but it's really pretty. It's not me. So it's okay. I figure I can use it for something. So I got on my knitting machine and I did some swatching, and I did, this white is just like a waste yarn to separate the different tensions, which would be like knitting on different size needles. And then I just took that and I put like whatever the setting was. Like this was set on a 4, so I have 4 little tassels. This was a 5, this was a 6. I like the 6. I could even probably go a little bit looser maybe, but it's got a good hand and all that kind of stuff. So I thought maybe what I'd like to do, what the original thought was, is to knit a sweater and do color work. This is great for that because it is a non-superwash, kind of a toothy yarn. It's good for color work. That's the sweater I made prior, was a color work sweater. So I thought, well, I need other colors in this yarn so that it all kind of matches. So I had ordered a whole bunch of different colors, and I feel like these go with this to do some sort of color. Now it is so bright, it's making my eyes water. To go with this, this is maize. This is what Maisie is named after, is the color maize. So maize is a golden color, and Maisie's pretty much this color. Yeah, she's really pretty much this color. She just laid down to sleep, so I'm going to let her sleep. We did a nice long walk today so that she would sleep and let me do this. So anyway, back to squirrel. I think what I want to try and do is a color work sweater on my machine. I was inspired, so this Instagram post comes up, and I'll put a picture of who she is. And this young woman knits these sweaters on a knitting machine and does this amazing color work. Like the whole sweater's color work, and I'm like, I need to try and learn to do that. So she's making her own punch card. So my machine that will knit fingering weight yarn has a punch card, which is like kind of a mylar type card that you could feed through. It's got little holes in it, and the holes tell the machine which needles to engage. It's kind of like, think of the old player piano that had the little holes, and the roll went through, and that would tell what keys would play. It's the same concept, just in knitting. So I can do 2 different colors, and I thought the way she did it, she had a design and it was like 2 different colors, and she had a different design, it was 2 different colors, and this as the background, and then change using those colors. I mean, I'm making it super complicated for somebody that's never knit a sweater on it, which was why I was doing a gauge to just see how the yarn knit in the machine, and it knit beautifully. So now I can order the little punchy thing and a roll of the punch card material, but like just to do those 2 things is almost $100, and I'm like, do I really need to do that? But it's kind of like, I haven't tried it yet. I'd really like to try it. So I don't know. I'm still thinking about it, but if not, I also thought of just hand knitting and knitting a sweater. So there is a pattern that I found, and I don't remember the name of it. And if I make it, I'll share it. But it was steeked and had color work at the top, and I figure I can just do that. So I'm tossing around all these different things, but then like taking time to sort of play and do this kind of stuff is fun as well. So I have these colors sitting here saying, you need to make something. I think it would be fun to kind of come up with my own design and do a punch. So there's a couple of different websites that I have come across, or programs of like being able to pattern generate. And so I might look at that. Anyway, that's like a whole exploration thing that I'm looking at doing, because that's kind of fun to do. Like, why not add one more thing? It's knitting, so I'm not really adding another hobby, although I have another hobby I'm going to try. Not a craft. It hasn't turned into a hobby yet. It's just a craft I want to try, and then it involves a branch, which I got yesterday on our hike, and it's in the back of my car. So that'll be like, if that happens, I'll show you. Keep you wanting more. Since my last time I recorded, I also started I've started a lot. So one of the projects I started was another thing from yarn that I repurposed. It's a pattern that I think it's a free pattern, and it is called the Cowl Cape. So I am alternating 2 different colors. So one is a gray, and the gray is a Barnyard Knits, and it's Frost, I believe. So it's just it's got a few little speckles, but it's just a gray color. And then, let me see, let me make sure. Barnyard Knits, yeah, Frost. And then I had this skein from Huckleberry Knits that I've had forever. I started knitting a Musselburgh hat from it. And I was getting to the point in the hat where I was needing to start decreasing, but I wasn't going to get through the whole repeat of this gradient, and I really wanted to. So I took that out, took out the Musselburgh so that I could use the yarn in something else, and so that's what I'm using here. And so it is gradating from this kind of wine purple, goes into more of a blue purple, into blue, turns to sort of teal, and now I'm getting into some green, and then it will end... I'm sort of tangled. It will end in this green. So I'm just going until I get to that point. I think it has a picot edged bind off, but it's like it's a cowl that I could stretch over just my shoulders. I think. It's hard to know, but it's at least a cowl, and I'm at least using all the colors. I wanted this color to be closer to my face. I got it. Itch, sorry. So I started with the end that had the purple, and you're just doing stripes. There's a little bit of shaping to get it to go wider, so it goes over your shoulders, and then you're just knitting in the round. So, that's been really good TV knitting, you know, because it's like 2 rounds of each color, and you just switch colors at the beginning of the round. There's nothing else I have to do till I run out of yarn. So that's been really fun. It's been fun to be able to see the whole gradient. And I love that I did it with this gray because I think that just really set it off nicely. That pattern it's called Cowl Cape by Sarah Osepik. I'm not sure if that's the actual pronunciation. It's as close as I can get. I finished some socks. So this is a yarn dyed by Fiber Hustle in the On and On colorway, and I love it. I love the mood. It's kind of moody, right? A little stripy. It's really fun. So that knitted a tube on my machine and put in the heel, toe, and cuff. Something else I started, because you do, right? I started, I was actually online looking on Ravelry, trying to find a 2-color something project. I thought I need some sort of a scarf instead of a shawl, because then I don't need like the big shawl. I just kind of needed a scarf, but not just like knit a scarf. So Kay, my friend Kay, she's like online friend, never met her in life. Hi Kay. She's Morning Thaw Knits, and she had just started or showed that she was going to start this scarf, and I'm like, that's exactly what I'm looking for. So it's called the Prismarine by Alina Apazova, and I have made one of Alina's patterns before. Last year I did as a sample for Fiber Hustle when they went to Flock, and I don't remember the name of it. But anyway, I wanted something like 2-color but subtle, because I do a lot of high contrast, which I love high contrast, but I thought sometimes maybe I need something a little more subtle. So here I am with the orange. That I don't usually wear orange, but this with it kind of makes it creamsicle, and I think I'll wear it. See, with white hair, I need color. Plus, I love color. But anyway, it has a slipped stitch pattern that my camera's a little further away than it usually is. Have you noticed? I kind of changed my setup in here a little bit. So pretty easy. The backside just garter. It keeps the same amount of stitches because you drop on one side and add on another, so you've got this like parallelogram thing going on. And I just pick this up every now and then. It takes just a tiny bit more concentration, you know, to just make sure you're doing what you need to do with the slip stitches. But it's just slip stitches. So basically, kind of, would it be considered mosaic? Because mosaic, you slip the stitch. I don't know. It is what it is, and it's a nice pattern. And so it's, let me tell you about the yarn. This is Fiber Hustle On and On. No, that was the other one. That was the sock. This is, shoot, I just dropped something. Everything is everything. So this is album inspired. If you don't know Fiber Hustle, Aaron, when he dies, he likes to do colorways based off of album covers and uses that as his inspiration. So this, I believe, was an Erica Badu album cover. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it was. So that's Everything is Everything. And then this is Moose Tracks. So this is a really good color. Pretty much goes with everything. And those are the two colors I'm using here to get that subtle, more subtle contrast. So that's been fun. Excuse me a second. Put my things away. Can't leave things like this on the floor because there's a puppy. Where did you go? Okay, she's laying down over there. Yeah, if I leave things like that on the floor, she thinks, oh, what's this? Let me just check this out. So that's all my knitting. I have been doing quite a bit of crochet, actually. So when I spoke with you last time, I talked about wanting to do something with a lot of my fingering weight scraps that I have. Because I have quite a bit, you know, over the years you make a bunch of stuff. So I gathered a bunch, put them in my basket. So I've got a lot. And, oops, darn it. Okay, that's not for you. See if she can leave that alone. That's going to be a test. I decided to do crochet. I decided I was going to do the linen stitch, or also known as the moss stitch. So it can be known as either one. I did a blanket before in it, and I'm loving it. I started with just whatever colors, and I was going like dark, light, and then what I was realizing is it was making like a vertical line because the lights were lining up and the darks were lining up, and I thought, well, I'm going to keep doing that. Right here, I did what I thought was kind of a light, and it really wasn't light enough, so it made like a dark stripe. It doesn't matter. It's a blanket. So I cast on, or chained on, 300 stitches, I think, for the 301, because you need like multiples of 2 plus 1, so your 1 is your turning chain. And I just started doing the stitch, which is single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, chain 1, until you make a blanket. I'm going across, cutting it, going across, cutting it. So I do have all these ends. Not 100% sure what I'm going to do with them. I'm not going to be weaving them in right now. I'm just leaving them. I'm either going to group some and make little tassels and cut it short, just have like a little fringe on the end. I may crochet like a binding. So I would pick up and crochet like a long piece, fold it in half and connect it so that all this gets hidden in that. I'm going to determine that once the blanket is finished. For now, I'm just doing this. It's going to take a lifetime, but it's okay. I'll just sit down every once in a while if I get on the phone or something, and I'll just do a row, or I get a chance to just sit for a second and I'll do a row or two, and it's great. It's what it is. It's going to be thick. It's going to be warm because it's wool. This stitch does make a thick fabric. I started off with a 4mm and realized I was like making my stitches loose, like purposefully trying to crochet looser, because I could tell that was a little too small. So I switched to a 4.5. You can't tell where I switched because I basically was doing a 4.5. I probably could have gone bigger just because the stitch is dense, but I think it's going to make a nice blanket. It's not like it's a stiff blanket. It's definitely flexible, has good drape, and it's going to be toasty warm. So that's what I ended up doing. I'm holding the yarn double-stranded because all of my leftovers are in these little cakes. Like, I get done with the project and I put this in my cupboard in the cake form. So I can pull from the outside and the inside. I didn't have to rewind anything. It was all ready to go. It takes me about 7 grams to go from one end to the other, leaving the tassels. So I'm weighing, and if I've got at least 7 grams, that color can be used. And I'm throwing it away if it's less. Chip, did you hear that? I'm throwing it away if it's less than 7 grams. I'm not keeping every little gram. It's hard. It can be painful. Because I'm like, oh, but what if I could use this for... I'm like, really? Are you going to use 3 grams of something? Probably not. So, so this is my ongoing project. It is going to be about 60 something wide, I think, with 300 cast on. So that'll be plenty, and I'll just go till I feel like it's long enough, or I run out of yarn, which I don't know that I will. So that's been a nice, like, relaxing project. Another crochet project I started is I'm making a little like sweater, and it's a pattern that I'm making from MJ's Off the Hook. So if you're a crocheter, you're probably familiar with her. This is the V-stitch cardigan, which uses the V-stitch, which I did know how to do because I did it in a blanket a while back. And I'm using a cotton. So this is from Pearl Soho. So let me just do it like this. Because I'm not quite to the point of, I'm almost, but not quite to the point of making the sleeves. But this will connect to this and make a sleeve. This is Pearl Soho butter. What's the... It doesn't matter because they don't have it anymore. Buttercream? No. Butterscotch. It's a base that they don't have anymore called butter something. I'm super helpful, aren't I? So anyway, I had got this yarn and I was going to knit like a t-shirt, like a summer short sleeve sweater, basically. And I swatched for it and I thought, I'm not a big fan of knitting with cotton. So I took the swatch out and then put the yarn aside. Kevin even sent me some of his that he had. Buttercup. See, I knew it would come to me eventually. Buttercup cotton. So he had some and I'm like, oh, I have, I'm not sure if I can quite make the sweater because I think I'm a skein short. Now they don't make it anymore. And so he was gracious and sent me some. So I am crocheting with it instead, and it's crocheting up really nicely. There are mistakes. There are several mistakes because I'm not a great crocheter and definitely a better knitter and quilter, but that's okay. So this will be a nice little summer, little throw over, something. I'm sure it's not going to look as cute as it does on MJ, but it's all right. I'll be as cute as I can be. So I have a little bit more to go, and then something happens in the pattern, probably connect the sleeve or something. I'm not sure. So it is 100% cotton, and I don't have the tag in here, so I don't know. In like a really light pale blue. See, I don't do everything purple. So I may have this for Flock this year. Are you guys going to Flock? I am. Flock is a fiber festival that is in Seattle in August, like the second weekend of August or something. Last year was my first year. I went and helped Fiber Hustle in their booth and helped with all of that. And they are going to have a booth again this year. I'm planning on being there. I don't know if I'm going to help in the booth or not, but I am going to be there. And so I thought, well, maybe I'll have a little crocheted little number. We'll see. So yeah, that's been fun. I get into a groove. Now I am using my 4.5-inch hook that I have, whatever these hooks are. I don't know brand. And it had like this burr on it. And it would kind of catch, not like horrible, but it just was bugging me. So I took a nail file to burr it down, like to kind of sand it down. And I made it rough, which made it worse because now it's rough and my yarn doesn't slide. So luckily I have another one, but this is the one I was using for my blanket because it's the same size. So I got on Etsy and I ordered one that has a polymer handle. And so I'll get that, I don't know, in a week or something. So if you have a burr, don't go after it with your nail file because it really doesn't make it better. It made it, yeah. You know, it's all right. Live and learn. So I hope I am done. I'm getting hungry and I need to eat because it's like getting late and my stomach's grumbling. So I'm going to leave you with that. And we'll see if I do a new format. I don't know. But thanks for sticking with me. And remember the stuff about the giveaways. I'll decide when that closes. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. You'll get it if you get it. And you don't. Whatever. Okay. It's time for me to go. So take care. Love to you all. Bye.